and Jesse's under the desk, and David is here. David is in Little Rock. So he's in my ear. I can hear him. Because David's in Little Rock, I don't know how to pull up Facebook myself. I thought I had it, and I can't find it. So, so he will let me know if there are any comments I need to know, or I'm sorry, if there are comments I need to respond to. Oh, there we go. I finally found myself on Facebook. Okay, so David is telling me that YouTube went live late. So I'm excited to be able to go live in both Facebook and YouTube. And hello, Mary, how are you? One of these might have Mary's name on it. Nope, none of them do. Sorry, not these. So I've been told, if you read my blog today, I've been told that there is a desperate desire. Well, I wouldn't say desperate desire. There is a expectation that chocolate is exchanged during a Stampin' Up! Event. And one of the most brilliant women I've ever not met told me that. So I actually get to meet Mary for the first time in person at the Stampin' Up! Event in Houston. And so I'm very excited to be going and to see all the sneak peeks and to learn all the stuff. And to give my small little gifts to my teammates. So I am making many of these. Ow. Suck up. What? Oh. Oh, suck up. Yes, I am sucking up, Mary. You're right. So I am making a number of those. So tonight we're going to make that box together. I have my most of my items cut. So before I score this, I have a variety of them here. I told David about a half an hour ago, I'm like, well, you know what, David, I'm ready to go because I've got all these things cut out. And I realized not only had I cut them out, but I also had stamped them all. I'd already put on the DSP. I mean, I'd scored them. That's not the way you do a tutorial video. So we are going to start from the beginning. All right, I usually am. Okay, and then we had this slightly scary moment when I couldn't find my stamp set. We are using the Simply Zinnia stamp set and dies, so basically the bundle. We are not using the whole suite. In my blog post, I said that I kind of went outside my blog comfort zone here. I am using the Lighter Than Air. I should probably close this before I put my entire hand in there. The Lighter Than Air DSP. And I use this because I had not used it at all, and I had an entire package of it, and I wanted to at least use it because I know it's pretty. It's actually probably not my choice of colors. I'm not huge. I'm really not a lemon fan. Now, knowing that, you would be very surprised if to know that my Lemon Lolly cardstock is almost empty, and it's not just because of this project, because it didn't take quite that much. Anyway. So we are moving on to the DSP. I am using the embossing folder, the Zinnia 3D embossing folder. It's an online exclusive, as is the Simply Zinnia suite. The entire suite is online. I am not going to be using the embellishments. Instead, I'm going to be using the pastel adhesive back sequins because they're the right color and I have plenty of them. So let's get started. Let's not chit-chat. Okay, I can see her, David. Yeah, thank you for saying that, though. I don't know if it is, Mary. I am not a huge yellow fan is the problem. As just like someone else we know, I'm just not into yellow. So I am randomly stamping the single Zinnia flower using Petal Pink ink on Petal Pink cardstock. I am... So usually I turn the paper. I was turning the stamp as I was talking, I hope. So now we're moving on from this flower. Now we're going to move to, I have to check and make sure it's not blue because I just stamped in blue. So these leaves, I'm going to also stamp. I'm sorry if you can hear Pixie. I swear this poor dog, she was asleep no more than a half an hour ago, and almost for the entire afternoon while I was making a big mess in my stamp room and doing my thing here. And of course, as it gets time to go live, she's now awake and whining. So there we go. Okay, so I have stamped my leaves randomly. Basically, I'm making my own DSP in a single color here. And then I have this little, I don't know if you can see it. They're kind of like stars. They might be what those disc florets. I actually looked up this word. It is these little things are called disc florets, but I don't know what that means. So at least the bomb gotcha. Okay then. Mary's after me now. Okay, so I am stamping these on and off the paper because we do not want to. There we go. And let's see. All right in the middle there. It doesn't have to be totally covered in ink. All right, I'm going to put these off to the side so I do not, this one I'm going to clean. So I have learned that I am just kind of a lazy stamper in terms of cleaning my stamps. And that does not mean that I don't clean them. I absolutely do clean them pretty much right after I use them. But as you can see, my chamois is really a disaster. And it's because I don't take the time to stamp off the ink that's on my stamp before cleaning it. And it would be less dirty if I would do that. So we are going to decoratively punch this. I do not have a circle punch. That would be a great, I'm sorry, I have a circle punch. I do not have a corner rounder. That would be a great thing to do, is corner round this, but this is what I have and I use it pretty regularly. You've seen it in my blog a few times. So I have a note here that says punch and flip. That came from another demonstrator that I didn't even realize that it looked different, but she says it does, so that's what I do, is punch and flip. I have so many of these. I feel like I should make confetti and take it with me. Yeah, okay, moving on. Okay, so now I still need to score, and if I could find my, there it is. Okay, we are going to score. Yeah, I have my directions right here to make sure that they're right. 2, 2.5, 5.5, and 6. So here we go. All right, 2. So when I was doing a lot of this, I was doing a lot of the scoring on Friday. To be quite honest, I was doing it at work. It was quite a wait, 2, 2.5. Is that what you said? 2, 2.5. Okay, that seems. I took out my cutting blade because I accidentally cut one of the pieces of paper in half. So 5.5, and because I was doing a lot of it, I decided that the cut, and I hadn't normally I would use my scoreboard for this, but because I didn't put it in the supply list and I didn't mention it in my blog, I'm not using it, but you certainly could do that. And then put your little pegs, if you have them, you could put your pegs on the there, and so you wouldn't have to think like I just did about what am I doing. It doesn't matter which end is up. These are both the same size, so just when we go to that point, it won't matter. So I lost a piece of paper, as typical me, lost a piece of paper. I've got the belly band though. The belly band's right here. This is what, of course, this is it right here. So now this is the outside. When I say the outside box, it's basically a cover for the inside box. And then here is the actual inside piece. And we're going to score this at 1 inch and 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So what, I should do it the other way. Let's do it this way. 1 inch and that way, and then 1/2 inch, not 1.5, 1/2, and then same thing here, 1 inch, 1/2. Gosh, just before we went live, I found out that one of our friends lost her house and her car in a fire on Friday, and I'm I'm a little bit distracted by that thought that keeps going through my head. Okay, so now we have, these are, I don't know if you can see the lines, but they're here, the score lines, but we'll make them more obvious by burnishing them. All right, and so you know, I'm a quilter as well as a card maker, and I have seen some really beautiful quilted cards. I can't remember, her first name is Julie. I can't remember what her last name is, but she is, I think she's called the Chirpy Card Maker, and she makes some really beautiful projects with paper. And so when I was looking at these are 1/4 inch a piece, and I have to cut them out anyway, so what the heck, why not? Oh, I guess I should use snips. So why not use them for something? I did save them, so we'll see what they end up becoming. Maybe nothing, but we'll see. Because I have a vision in my head of cutting these little 1/4 ones on a diagonal. So basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting out 1 inch at each corner edge on the bottom, where all of the scoring, there we go, where the scoring meets. All right, and then we're going to put Terran tape on these edges. Oh, sorry, singing in the rain. There's no rain here, but there's supposed to be rain in Houston next week. But I feel like Houston rains all the time anyway. It's pretty near the Gulf. So I know it's very humid. I have a girlfriend who lives in Houston, and she was complaining the other day it was, it was like 68% humidity or something. She was complaining that it was just too early in the season for it to be that bad. But it was about that here, and we're 5-ish hours away from her. So, all right, now we have our box made, and I'm trying to come up with a little trick I could give you on where to place this, because I have put it up too high, and so frankly I think it was easy to kind of feel the notch and lay it down, but I'm just gonna show you where I put it, and it's going to be just, okay, now this is an official word, a tish, if you can see this, is going to be just a tish over the score line here, and even with the sides, there we go. Okay, now we're hoping I didn't put it too high, or too low rather, because if it's too low, then this won't close well, because it should be squared. It is squared, so yay me. All right, now we're going to, I removed these one side at a time. I got sticky on one, and so I removed the Terran tape paper one side at a time, and I'll see if I can do this on the edge. But basically, I'm just making these edges meet, and the Terran tape, whoops, well, it didn't actually meet. I mean, it did meet, but, so I'm just making the edges even. And, oh, before I do this, I forgot to do, it's so funny. I learned about this particular box from Anne Marie Heil when I attended an online event that she is part of a while ago, maybe more than a year. And so she was, when she was doing her demonstration, she forgot to notch out the center. And so as soon as I did that, I thought, oops. So she had to fix her thing later. There we go. So now, oops. Boy, this Terran tape is just killing me here. There we go. All right. So this is a little high, but I'm going to just go with it. We'll just bend it to our will, because in fact, yes, tish is a word, Mary. It's just like, well, I don't know, just like holding your mouth a certain way to, there we go. Okay, so there is the box. Now, I didn't decorate this, and you could easily have stamped this with the stamps, and I'm probably going to wish that I did, but I didn't do it on all of the ones that I made, so it's too late now, because most of them are adhered. So, all right, so this is what it's going to look like when it's closed, and that is this is going to be the top flap, obviously, and it's going to go like this. we are going to take a belly band, which is just a, this one is like, I'm sorry, I used the word like. This one is approximately 1 7/8 inches wide by 11 inches long. And the reason for that is because the size that I had when I finished cutting my panels, I could get 2 pieces out of the cardstock that was left. But in my instructions, I put down 2 inches because really, what's an 1/8 of an inch between friends? Well, yeah, you should. Oops, okay. So I embossed this in 2 pieces, and you can see right here is my join line. It's not obvious enough that it's going to just jump right out at you, but because the where'd it go? The embossing folder is 6-ish, kind of like Tish, 6-ish inches wide. It might be 6.5. I just lined it up like this, ran it through, and now when I run it through the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine, I have to run it through this way for this particular thing. I could have gone this way. I don't know why I didn't. I really wanted this line to help me line it up, so that was why I went sideways. It's not, the recommended way is with the hinge going through the machine first. I believe that I think the reasoning is it could warp or crack your embossing folder, but it did not do anything to this one, and I've made several. So moving on from that. Now, there's something very important here that we are missing. It's like Halloween at my house because we have much candy. So this box is actually a little bit big for these things, and that's because there's an extra little surprise going in here that I can't tell anyone about, Mary. And so I just am going to put the chocolate in for now, and we are going to fit our belly band around the chocolate. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, so I want the raised part of the of the embossing showing, and I'm going to put it approximately, I want it to be about 1 inch, that's probably probably more than 3/4 of an inch, above my flap. I forgot to do something. And so put that there, and then I'm going to just kind of pinch these and make a little bit of a crease here, so that when I go back with my bone folder, I will have a crease. Well, no, don't be, there we go. All right, and so I'm going to go back with my bone folder, and then we're going to go back to the step that I skipped. There we go. Okay, and so I just want those little things there, and we'll do this one. That's right, Mary. That might not be I might not have. There we go. Oh, because I didn't pinch it on the other side, that's why. And you don't have to do that, but you do want to fill your box first because you want to make sure that your belly band doesn't get too tight. Now let's go back to what I didn't do. I have 2 pieces of DSP here, and this is of course, lighter than air. They are 3 5/8 inches wide and 1 7/8 inches tall to match here. I'm going to put both of them this way. Now, if you have a directional DSP, you're either going to want to do them separately or do them, make sure you turn one over so that your decorative edge is on the proper, so that you're facing upwards, if that's what you want to do. Now, I have to say, Mary, you're quite an enabler, and one of the things that you smartly enabled me with was these incredibly wonderful reverse tweezers. I have other reverse tweezers, but in this case, because I got a little goop of glue there, but in this case, because the nose of these are so thin, nose is so thin, I can get plenty of glue on here and not get glue all over my tweezers and get it on there nicely. I tried to do this with my fingers and it is messy and gluey, of course. And so I just thought it's way better and way easier. And when I go to put the sentiment panel on, I have to once again get in here and really be more precise. And so this is the second time today. I would say it's even this. I like chocolate, David. They are the bestest. And I was just going to say it's the second time today that I have heard someone compliment Mary on picking these tweezers and enabling us to purchase them. So then we have a slightly smaller piece of basic white. This is the only sentiment panel that goes here. I did a few iterations of this card in my head, and this was the one that I ended up using. What is in there? And so once again, I am just going to punch and flip and get my well-enabled tweezers here. And I'm kind of glue heavy. You don't probably need that much glue, but it's not squeezing out. So this is a special, now see, now I say that now it's all, so here's what was happening was I was trying to be light with the glue, and I was getting it adhered and it wasn't exactly where I wanted it. And the tweezers really make a difference. So there's my sentiment panel. There's a decoration. We're going to close this up. Now we're going to go back to the belly band. So sorry I got ahead of myself, but it doesn't hurt. It's fine. Whoops. And there we go. So the belly band on the piece on the bottom, this piece is about the right size. It's fine. Can't get this in the center here. And I am going to clip off, where's my, there we go. I've gone through a whole bottle of glue today. I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, I've made a lot, but boy, a whole bottle of green glue. It's crazy. Maybe because I'm a little, David. So David, are you telling me you need a box too? Is that what you're saying? That you need a treat box? I thought your treat was being married to me. Okay. All right, so I am not going to glue this on the box because I don't really want to do that, but it should be, see, here we go. There we go. Just about a half an inch of glue there. I'm going to make, once again, I'm going to make sure that I don't, I'm really afraid of making my belly band too tight. I have a tendency to pull it very tight, and I know I put the chocolate over there, but so this is the front of the box, and so I want my seam for my belly band, I didn't press hard enough, to be in the front because I am going to cover it up with this flower. So I have these pieces cut already for the flower. Now, I have not come up with if there's an actual way that these go on together. I can't figure out if if there's a bump that I'm supposed to be looking for. I just haven't figured that out. So I pretty much just put them on. If it has chocolate, okay. I pretty much just put it where I feel like putting it. And then I'm going to I'm not pulling hard. I'm only pulling to pick it up a little bit, but I'm just running my bone folder partially across these petals to give them a little bit of lift because I'd like them to stand up a little bit because that makes them more, I don't know, boutonniere. And you can do that before or after. Usually I do it after, but I don't always get the middle layer when I do that, after I glue this top layer on, rather. So now I'm looking for that opening. There we go. So now I'm going to do it again with this one. I'm just really trying to get the edges. I don't want the whole thing to curl up because I don't want it to look funky. That's right, more prettier. That is exactly right, Mary. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it through on stage with my voice intact at the end because I have a feeling that There will be a bit of laughter at our table. They might even have to tell us to shush. I'm just saying, because I know what Zoom the Craft Room is like, and I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Okay, so another and this does not need to be completely covered with glue. It just needs to have a layer for the center and just to adhere it in the center. In fact, it's better if it doesn't, because if you see that I was a little generous and there's some glue oozing. Now this one's a little harder for me because I do small glues of dots. Yeah, and that would be very true, Mary. Okay, there we go. And so now I'm trying to be very gentle with this glue, even though it's almost empty. And you know the empty ones are the hardest ones because they're empty and you got to press a little harder to get it out. Okay, so if you feel like this needs a little bit more time to dry, and sometimes it does, a D block is perfect. Let's see, to just lay on there and it will hold it nice and close. Although it smushed it didn't smush it, so I guess I'm okay. All right, so here we go. Let's put the treats back in case this one's Mary's. Because she would, and you know, I would have to write a note inside. It's a little hard to write the note inside after you put it together. See, this is exactly what happens to me with this belly band. I'm always afraid to get it a little bit tight. And sometimes it's tighter if I put it on the left side than if I put it on the right side. I don't understand that. I'm not, oh, you know what we forgot to do? I forgot to cut these. So I already stamped with, this is Azure Afternoon paper, and I already stamped these double leaves. There we go. Well, not like that, like that. Now I'm going to, I was trying not to emboss, and then David said, 2 minutes. No, this is Mary's chocolate right here, Mary's chocolate. And if you know what, there's many stores on the way to Houston that if I forget your chocolate, I will most certainly. I'm embossing. One moment, please. Or not embossing. I'm die cutting. Whoops. So Mary's got me all discombobulated because I might forget her chocolate. Now I'm feeling like I'm going to forget the whole package of chocolate. Okay. I can't get this to stay on. One moment, please. I got to get up something. So today I was making a card for my blog on Tuesday, and I was using the a la mode letters, which I've not used before. They're new to me, although I think they've been around for a while. And I'm back, and I put what I thought was self-adhesive paper on the back side. It turned out to be masking paper, and I could not figure out why. I couldn't get it off, and it was sticky. I pulled it off, and I'm like, why is this not sticky? I don't understand. I figured it out. So needless to say, those little teeny tiny skinny letters are glued into my card, and you will have to come back on Tuesday to see. And I just put a little bit of glue on the edge of this stem. So yes, come back on Tuesday to see my card. I'm very proud of it. I like it a lot. But you know what? I'm proud of most of my cards. So I think that's a good thing. I'm always, almost always happy with what I create. Once in a while, a card will maybe not make it to the mailbox. But on Wednesday, I have a card. I don't normally post on Wednesdays, but I will be this week because I was randomly selected as the feature stamper for the blog, the Color Throwdown blog, which is going live on midnight Eastern time on Wednesday. Now, my blog will not go live quite that early, but I do have a card. So I did submit my card as being the featured stamper. I get to create a card for this week's their blog this week. So that's fun. Okay, the only thing that we are left with, and it is 6:31, so I'm doing really, really great on time. Almost perfect on time. because I went a little over, but okay. So I did, again, something that I almost never do is I almost always use 3 of the same color embellishments. And I did not this time. I used, excuse me, 1 of each color. There's 3 colors in these pastel adhesive sequins, adhesive back sequins, pastel adhesive back sequins. And I used all 3 of them. And that is it. Here is Mary's box, Oh Chocolate. And what other thing I might put inside. So anyway, so that's it. That is my not card for today. Thank you very much for coming and watching, Mary. It's always fun to have you here, and I cannot wait to see you on Thursday. Me and I don't know however many other team members there are, but for those of us who haven't met you in person, we're all going to be a little bit starstruck. I'm just saying. Yeah, it'll be so exciting, so fun. Excuse me. All right, I am going to go get a drink of water. So remember, I have a blog on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. And then we will be live on Sunday for sure, letting you know what we found out at on stage. There probably won't be a blog post on Sunday, but it depends on how much I get done this week before. Oh, please. Mary, we are going to be a little bit starstruck. I'm just saying, but maybe it's Amy that we're going to be starstruck about. I don't know. I mean, anyway, okay. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate y'all being here. One more thing before I let you go. In April, I am going to be running a card class. I don't know the date yet, but it will be with the Beach Day bundle. We'll make 3 cards. One of them will be a fun fold, and life is all good. So if you are interested in that card class, watch for details in my newsletter. So please sign up at my blog, stampwithnell.com. Couldn't even remember what my name was. And I will see you next week on Sunday with all the deets about On Stage. Thank you very much for coming. Have a great day. Oops, goes this way.